Hi everybody. I'm sorry if this angle is weird or if I sound very quiet, as I'm finally trying to record on the non-selfie side of the phone. And my last videos get that weird wavy thing, and I think it must be from the front facing camera, so I'm trying it this way. I am just going to be doing my makeup like usual, and I wanted to chat while I do it because one, I just wanted to make a video, and two, I really wanted to ask for your opinion. I know that I don't have many viewers, and that is okay, but if you happen to watch this and you have an opinion on this, I'm very curious. So I'm going to start. It's a very short story. It's not dramatic at all. It's more of just a kind of a moral quandary that I've been thinking about. So, you know how as a person, we all have, morals or even sort of codes and rules that we have created for ourselves to live by. And they're all sort of common decency type things, and some things bother you more than it would other people, and vice versa. So one thing for me is that I can't stand eavesdropping. Now I know that we're all humans and we all share a space. Sometimes we share a very close space, like an office, a subway, a store. And I don't want people to just be quiet. I want people to talk freely with whoever they're with, or the cashier, or whatever. But I feel pretty strongly that just because you're standing behind me does not mean it's any of your business. If someone's talking to someone else and you're in the immediate vicinity, you can hear them. Who cares? It's not your place ever to comment on it. That's just how I feel. I don't know why. I don't know if it comes from, I find it rude or embarrassing. I'm not really sure. I've just always been like that. And it really bothers me when people eavesdrop and comment on it. So keep this in mind. It's part of the story. So the other day, I was in the grocery store, and I was walking behind a couple, a man and a woman, and they had just a few things in their cart, maybe 4 to 6 items. And I was walking directly behind them. If they were having a conversation, I couldn't really hear it until they stopped sort of abruptly with their cart in front of me. And I had to, kind of go pretty close to them and then walk around. So as I was walking around, I saw the guy, reaching in his pocket, and he said to the female he was with that he didn't have his credit card, that he left his wallet at home. And she looked pretty, annoyed, upset. I'm sure they were picking up stuff for their dinner, and maybe they don't live quite as close to the grocery store as I do. And what a pain to leave without all your stuff. So everything in me wanted to go back up to those people and offer to buy their few items. It would have been fine, probably under $10. I would have had no issue doing it. It would have made me feel really good knowing those poor suckers didn't have to go all the way home and all the way back just to get their few items for dinner. But doing so would have implied that I was eavesdropping. And like I said, sort of goes against everything that I believe in. And so that part of me totally negated the part of me that wanted to be a generous, caring citizen. You know, I really, really wanted to help them out, and yet I couldn't do it because I didn't want them to know that I could hear what they were talking about. Because if that were me, even though I would have been grateful for someone's kindness, I would have been so embarrassed and annoyed that someone was listening to my conversation and then butted into it, even if it was for something nice. So, of course, I thought about it. I mean, I'm still thinking about it. This was only like 3 days ago, and I haven't stopped thinking about how I wish I had convinced myself that it was the right thing to do to offer to buy their groceries. So the opinion that I want is sort of, what would you have done? Do you think that eavesdropping is that big of a deal? Does it bother you? Would it bother you if someone popped in to your conversation unwarranted? I bet some people like it. I don't know. And do you have that sort of conviction about anything? Socially or like morally, if you have any things that just bother you more than other things, holding the door for people, just common decency stuff. Because in general, I feel like I'm a person who will go out of my way to help someone. But the need for help needs to be clear and public, if that makes sense. So, meaning, I'm not butting into your business in order to help you. I'm not forcing my way in to know your problems just so that I can help you. If that couple were in front of me at the cashier already, hadn't yet realized, I'm pretty sure I would have definitely stepped up, because it would have been very apparent that I would have heard them. I would have been right there. They would have probably looked at me. And I certainly would have said, oh, it's no problem, just ring it in with mine. And I would not have thought twice about it. But this kind of social anxiety part of having to turn around and go up to them, confess that I heard their problem, and then offer to bail them out. I just couldn't do it. So I know this is not a super interesting topic, but it was interesting to me just thinking, days later about it. Only because I'm so curious about what, not necessarily what you would do, because I think it would be pretty split. I think most people, if they were able to, would have in an instant said, hey, you guys, did I just hear you lost your wallet? Let me buy your stuff. And I feel like that's who I am on the inside. I couldn't get it to come out. But what I'm super curious about is kind of like, if anyone else has these sort of rules that they live by. I don't sit around and write out the 10 commandments of being Shannon and, things I'll do and things I won't do, and things are what I believe in. Like, I don't have a manifesto. But when I really think about, the things that bother me, it's clear what they are. Like eavesdropping, or it's a similar thing to eavesdropping that bothers me, which is, and I think Facebook has kind of killed this particular art of communication, but I'm not on Facebook because of it. It really bothers me when someone has some news, good or bad, and everyone else takes the news as their own and feels like it's okay to spread it around. Because once it's out there, it's common knowledge, you're okay to tell anybody you want. But I don't feel that way. I feel a little bit old-fashioned in that if you have news and you want me to know that, it's up to you to tell me. And if you don't want to tell me, then you don't want me to know, and then it's no one else's place to tell me. That's kind of how I feel. And people just don't feel that way anymore. At least not, I don't think it's intentional. I don't think people intentionally, are trying to steal people's thunder or gossip. I just think that the rate of social information being transferred because of the internet now is just too fast to keep up with in real life. I have this example that I tell people when a lot of people ask me, why I'm not on Facebook. And this particular story is not 100% of why, but it's sort of indicative of what bothers me about Facebook. And it was, years ago, my grandmother was in the hospital, and I didn't know. It was fine. She was fine. She has passed since, but at the time, it was fine. Anyway, a friend of mine texted me and said, "Hey, so sorry, I heard about your grandmother. Is she okay? Are you okay?" A very concerned, very nice message from a friend. However, a very nice, very concerned message from a friend that sent me into a panic because I didn't know my own grandmother was in the hospital. I had no idea, but a family member had posted it on Facebook, so everyone that knew them, meaning everyone that knew me, knew my grandmother was sick and in the hospital, and I didn't know. And yeah, I feel like it's just not really this skill that's utilized anymore of, picking up the phone, or even an email, honestly, these days, picking up the phone and calling people that you think should know before you put it out to essentially the public. And I know that the difference being that people don't consider Facebook the public. Facebook is people that you have chosen to be in your life, to be your friends, and to see everything that you are doing and posting. And I get that. And it's certainly the fastest delivery of information. But is that good? Is it good to be able to spread news that quickly? I don't know. You kind of lose the organic, reactions and emotion of all of it. It's like if someone tells me, this is a morbid example, but if I'm meeting with a friend and they tell me in person, that their uncle has passed away, it's very sad, and it hits you, emotionally. You feel for your friend who you see in person. You can see how it's affecting them, that they're upset, You know, maybe you get some news on what happened to him, and you know, you can relate to it, it hits home, blah, blah, blah. However, when you're scrolling through on your Instagram feed or your Facebook feed or whatever they call Facebook, wall feeds, you know what I mean. You know, and there's one of 800 friends posting that that their uncle has passed away. You probably click a little button and you say, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then you keep scrolling, and it's not that you don't care. It just doesn't have the same effect on you as if they had told you and given you proper time and consideration to really feel the impact of the news. I guess you can just call it desensitization, but I don't really feel that. I just think I don't think we've become desensitized to the information. I think we've become desensitized to the method of which the information was spread. I'm not quite sure how I got on this tangent from my story about the couple at the grocery store. But I do appreciate you hanging out with me while I did my makeup. And I am going to dinner to meet my friend Anna. Hi, Anna. Anna recently subscribed to my channel, so I'm hoping that she will leave me a message giving me her opinion on this, which would be really interesting. Especially because Anna, as a person, is extremely charitable. And when people describe me as a person, they almost always use the word generous, and I appreciate that because I don't know, I guess I am. I mean, I want people to have everything that they want, and if I have any ability to give it to them, I'm going to. But Anna is like me times 1,000, and she's so generous with everything, with her time and emotion and everything. So, yeah, I guess that's a little shout out to you, Anna, if you watch this video. I guess that's pretty much it. I know I probably asked a lot of whoever's watching this about the comments. So in short, if you do want to leave a comment, and I wish you would, I would prefer that you tell me either, you know, what would you have done in the situation in the grocery store? Would you have gone up to them, even though it would mean that, you know, you were listening to their conversation? Or would you do what I did, which is not say anything and then feel horribly guilty about it for days after? And I'm just curious to know if anyone else has these sort of contradictory elements to how they live their life. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out, and I will talk to you later. Bye.